The other day, I was observing a conversation that Amabuto had with the ambassador of Somalia. One of the things that I always look at is body language. I always look at the eyes as well, because for some reason, I am able to read what is actually going on up here in the individual. Let me tell you something. The exercise, which is honorable, which is respectful, which also shows that, hey, let's meet each other halfway so that we can sort out some few issues here, rather than Pagelum Tagati and the team storming the Somali embassy. Instead, they showed all kinds of respect, including sitting down. When you are sitting down, you are basically making yourself vulnerable. Well, that is actually our training growing up, that when you sit down, you are showing, number one, respect. When you are respectful, of course, you always bring yourself to the lowest level. Some people might actually take that as weakness if you don't understand the culture. Some people might take it as, yeah, you got it right. I'm the boss here. I will look down on you. Just like the Somali ambassador and his own team. They stood. You know, in my culture, I'm going to speak about my culture because that's a culture I know. I probably other cultures also do it. The moment Pagalum Tagati and them went on the floor and sat on the floor, and then they explain to the Somalis why they are sitting on the floor. You know what, in my culture, the other side would have done? Would have done exactly the same thing. Because at the end of the day, nobody is above the other. Respect is a two-way street. But no, they decided to stand without also saying, oh, let's, I don't know, show some kind of, we want to hear you. No, 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 they stood. And Pagalum Tagati, he spoke his heart out. But here's the problem. They were not interested in what he had to say. They were disinterested. The ambassador, the people that were surrounding the ambassador, they had no interest, but they just had to stand there because cameras are rolling. And you know what made me confirm that the ambassador was not interested? How is it possible that South Africa is an English-speaking country when it comes to global medium of instruction? It's English-speaking country. And you decide that when you come to South, and I'm not saying other embassies or ambassadors of Europe and Asia, they ought to know how to speak English. But we're saying that we are fixing Africa, ne? We are saying that one Africa, one this and one that. The least that the ambassador of Somalia could have done was to speak English. Not that he doesn't know how to speak English. I've heard him before. He pretended not to hear English, let alone speak it. Then you have to ask yourself this question. How does he interact with the sellouts of this country? Yeah, the ANC. They speak English. But suddenly, he couldn't speak or understand English. That's how you knew that he had no interest in what Pagalum Tagati and them had come there to do. He speaks English. And then amongst the people that were next to him, I was looking at the guy who was inaugurated over the last weekend as a chairman of some association with South Africa. Yeah, where they even had the audacity to put our coat of arms on that so-called invitation and whatever branding that was. The total disrespect. Maybe you may not know this. When you take and stick a coat of arms, it's a sign of, number one, on our side, conquer. We've been conquered. That's what it means. We've been conquered, and since we've been conquered, the conqueror now takes over our identity, takes over our everything that is about us. In that little drawing that you saw, that's the identity of our government. Now, I was thinking, I was like, yeah, but if you go down history memory lane, Somalis, they are, how do you put this in a nice way? They are pirates. You know what's going on the Indian Ocean by Somalia. Yeah, they hijack ships. And the moment they take over the deck, what do you call it? It's not a deck. Where the pilot is, yeah, comes in and say, I'm the captain now. There is nothing a black-skinned African can ever try to make sense to a Somali, because Somalis do not see us black people, number one, as humans, number two, worthy, number three, to be respected. They believe that they are above us and they will always be above us. They believe that our purpose on this earth is slavery. It's to be slaves. Now, if you look at probably the real origin of the Somali people, I mean, hence they have the hair that they do. It's not nappy like ours. They originate from Yemen, just across the channel. That's where they come from. Now, this is an Arabic country in the Middle East. And do you know that the Arabs enslaved black people? Before the transatlantic slave trade and everyone else realized that, oh, we can do this to these people, the Arabs have been doing it for eons of centuries towards black people. The ill treatment that black people go under. Right now, there was a video in Kuwait of a woman covered. Obviously, she's an Arab woman, and there's a 14-year-old girl sitting a few meters away from her, being sold off as a slave. Sold.
قد ايه عمرك؟ ماما هذه ماما هذا بابا. قد ايه عمرك؟
Our BBC News Arabic team posed as a husband and wife looking to buy a domestic worker in Kuwait.
Not handed, but so she is going to make somewhere between $35,000 to $50,000 for a 14-year-old kid that probably was kidnapped in Africa. That's how they look at us. That's how they see us. And when you also look at the tuck shops, the food they sell us, expired. Some Somali person was caught in Cape Town selling dog food because that's what you're worth eating. Because you are black. They have no interest in hearing you, black person. How dare you? Paglam Tagati even asked a question like, the person that put the coat of arms, where are they? Oh, that guy that I was looking for proudly said, I'm here. He said, I'm here. In other words, was trying to say, what are you going to do about it? I'm here, but what are you going to do about it? Yes, they were surrounded by the South African Police Service. I have never seen so many South African Police Service in one place for one man. Okay, I get it. He's an ambassador. He needs to be protected. But I also thought that ambassadors also have Secret Service. But why our tax money is responsible to be protecting or being a security detail for a Somali ambassador? I don't mind seeing 5 or at least 6, but that was an overkill. That is a message to South Africans. The message is clear. I mean, we've seen the man that was being inaugurated this past weekend practically showing us that he's the boss. From what I also hear is that in that particular inauguration, he actually saw himself and even uttered words such as, he will make the best president of South Africa. Now, I don't know if you understand what is actually going on in the United States with the Somali community, but let's zoom in on one state called Minnesota. Minnesota has the highest concentration of Somalis since the early 90s. These people have established themselves so much that they now demanded to be recognized in politics. They fought for that and they actually got it. And when they did get it, they got it through Somalis becoming mayors, Somalis becoming members of state legislatures, and the aim was the White House. And in order to get the closest proximity to the White House, it is to become a congressman or a congresswoman. Basically, in our version, that's parliamentarian. Even though the Constitution of the United States is clear who cannot be the president of the United States. If you are naturalized citizen of the United States, you automatically disqualified to run for the White House. But they are working on that. As you know, they say, to finish an elephant, you eat it one small piece sizes at a time. Patience is what they work with. How long has the Somalis been in South Africa? And let me tell you about the state of Minnesota. This is the former flag of Minnesota. And now the new flag of Minnesota. Do you see how they are eating at the elephant? Now that they already captured Minnesota, they went for everything that Minnesota had that was going to benefit them. And guess where they started? Remember this video here in South Africa?
First of all, we are ready. We are thanking our Somali community leaders who today.
Okay, I'm not going to play the whole video because I'm sure you've seen a lot of it in the past 2 weeks and it's been trending forever. Yeah, social service. They go to social service because social service, it is funded by government. It's money that comes from government and they want it. Oh, they want it by hook or crook. In Minnesota, they did the same thing, so much so that they even, right now, there's a huge case of defrauding the state of Minnesota. Of now, I used to think it was between $9 and $18 billion. It is now sitting at almost $100 billion. Now, the question you have to ask yourself, how long has this been going here in South Africa? So much so that this woman says, how dare you, government of South Africa, to cut my SASSA grant? How dare you? I got children, I got this, and they don't have kids by 1 or 2 or 3. It is a slew of them. And each one of these children are expected to earn SASSA grants. Oh, let's not forget, when they go to school, free education, and when they go to university, NSS. Because money falls from the sky according to them. And, well, at least that's how I think. That's how they think. And South Africans, because of our lack of following each nation, who they are, what they are about, what is their history, and how did they get to where they are today? If I ask you, without going to Google, what is Somalia known for right now? Without going to Google, be honest. What do you know? Or what is it that you know about Somalia? Why it is where it is today? Yeah, exactly my point. We are the people that enable all of these things happening to us. And then we take the route of Ubuntu. Because you know what they did? They played the victim. Victim card is Somali people's winter sports and summer sports. Oh, they know how to play and pull your heartstrings, these people. And then most of the time, they would use children as weapons against you. I mean, come on. Are you that heartless not to feel sorry for a child? Come on. Exactly. That's how they know. And the part that I never understood, and I don't think I ever will understand it. Oh, yeah. They are fighting to become our presidents. And the ANC, being short-sighted as always been, they have successfully infiltrated the ANC. They still believe that the ANC is going to win elections. They still believe that. Now that they believe that, you know what to do to the ANC in the next ballot paper. Local and national. You know what to do. Because when you do that to the ANC, it cuts off all the plans that they've had. That means they have to go back to the drawing board. How to get proximity to the union buildings. It starts with the little thing that they did this past weekend. It might be insignificant to some of you, but the plan behind it, ginormous. Remember, we've been promised that Sharia law will be the order of the day globally. So what do they do in order to get Sharia law to be installed? They go to key countries. When I say key, I'm talking the countries that are developing, the countries that are almost there at development, and countries that are developed. So, of course, the Western countries, they've infiltrated very successfully. I just told you they infiltrated Minnesota and even Congress. This lady right here, this one, she's Miss Omar. She is Congresswoman. That means she's a member of parliament. And she is being seen as the next president of the United States. Maybe not this cycle, probably in the next 2 cycles of American elections. But in order for her to win American souls to vote for her, the Constitution needs to be amended. The part where it prohibits a naturalized American citizen to run for president. Do you think they're going to get it? I think so. They are this close, as a matter of fact. Liberals in America, you couldn't tell them anything. You couldn't tell liberals anything. And if the liberals, I'm talking about the Democrats here, if they win elections, this lady is not even this close to becoming president. She's inside the White House. And this is exactly what they are doing with us too. Our flag. I don't know if you saw the little sample of the flag. Yeah, the new South African flag. No, it's not where you have the Somali flag and the South African flag crossing each other like this. No. If you look close a little bit into that, the paraphernalia, you will see the new South African flag. It is superseded by blue, meaning Somalia is in charge. Then you have the coat of arms. As far as the Somali community is and the ambassador is concerned, South Africa is a done deal. And South Africa's constitution does not prohibit a naturalized South African from running for president. It doesn't prohibit. It doesn't at all. So all they have to do is they are actually a Trojan horse to the ANC. Once they are in there, they will inject their numbers, because the ANC is also desperate for numbers, and the Somalis know this. All the Somalis know this, and there are going to be negotiations. We're not sure if these negotiations, we are going to see them unraveling themselves at the next ANC conference. Because if you want our numbers, we also want to see ourselves in the ANC leadership. We're not just talking additional members here. We're talking members of the NEC, National Executive Committee. And in that committee, there also must be Somali issues that must be addressed at all times. Every time the NEC sits, there has to be 2 or 3 or even 5 items based on Somali communities in South Africa, their demands and how these demands are going to be executed. I know sometimes when I speak, I blow my own mind. But that's because I'm a person who has a sense of danger and also has a sense of emergency and urgency. It's exhausting. It's exhausting because I know there are going to be those about, Ipatika Mandela, Akseyo, Ipatika Mandela no more. It's no longer. When are you going to see that? So, Opaganum Tagata looked at them and I was like, these people have no interest in what you have to say. What they are interested in, had the ANC been there, they were going to hear. They were going to participate. They were going to speak English. They were going to do that. But because they don't consider them, they are these black useless people that are disturbing their agenda. That's why they got the treatment that they got. And I don't believe that Pagalum Tagate and them walked away with anything. They can come back and tell South Africans, guys, this is what we agreed on. This is what we agreed on. And we are going to start seeing changes here, there, and there. And I think at some point they did get agitated and they ended up standing up to show them that, hey, don't look at this police and think they're going to protect you. So the point that I'm making, in the United States, the US is about to go down because of liberals. In South Africa, you already know it's because of who. You already know it's because of who. And I keep saying it, guys, if we are going to treat these people that come and speak these big English words to us, and we don't look at them as guitars, Sarafina, guys, they are going to hand us over to the Somalis. And I think the Somalis are playing a very smart game. They are very smart, these people. Nigerians, they want to do the same thing that the Somalis are doing, but they are not doing it in a smart way. They are not united. Somalis are united. And they want South Africa. They want South Africa with everything they've got. Question is, are you going to allow them? Because the question that still lingers, that I don't think this government is going to answer. What war is happening in Somalia for Somalis to be here? What is it that South Africans are benefiting from Somalis in here and in Somalia? There is no way that you are going to place an embassy of another country when there's no mutualism between these two countries. What is it that we are benefiting in Somalia as South Africans? Critical questions are important to be asked, guys. We are being sucked, but not only we are being sucked, we are being taken over. One day, guys, that Clancy's guy, it will be too late. It will be too late. Anyways, this no, I know I forgot a point. The presidency part. That man said he will make the best president of the Republic of South Africa. And the question I asked, why can't you be the best president of Somalia? Why would you go to somebody else's country and you want to take over them? Make that make sense. This organization must be dismantled. Those that use our coat of arms need to be brought to book. This government needs to explain to us who are the Somalis, what relationship that we benefit from Somalis. The government owes us answers, guys, and we must demand for those answers. We have to demand so that we can prevent whatever plan these people are on top of. You watch and see. And I also saw in Durban, victim playing. Others are saying, I would rather get shot by the police in South. No, rather get shot back home fighting for your country. But I've said this before. South Africa is bad with narrative. We don't take control of narratives. And because the media is also against South Africans, because the question I was asking myself, how did the media know about this so-called we want the police to save us? The type of reporting, the type of questions that are being asked, they are painting South Africans as these evil people. Mainstream media. And why you guys still watch them is beyond me. Oh, it's beyond me. Because you watch and you react and you come back and say, oh, Cletus, what do you think of what this newsroom, what is saying? And I'm like, why did you watch? Anyways, the victim playing, it's their thing. All of them. All of them. Because they want to drive a propaganda. They're saying they're getting beaten, they're getting killed, they're getting this, but there's no stats that they're showing. I even saw a grown man that was only hit with a bullet, what they call the rubber bullet. The police shot me. A whole grown man. And they want to tell the world that you were shot by the police. And in South Africa, police are not allowed, according to Section 49 of the Criminal Procedure Act, to use live ammunition. But the world will hear that, oh, the South African police are shooting at whatever it is that they are called. And now you have a man there, help me, I've been shot by the police. All lies. He's creating a narrative that we are not good at. No, 30th of June must come and go. And when it goes, they should be gone too. Ask Jake. Anyways, guys, please enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for listening. But we need to be careful. As I always say in this video, protect this country with everything you've got, including with your life. Goodbye.